Hi everybody, my name is Erin. Welcome back to my channel, Three Cats Stitching. Um, this is a channel about cross stitch, and I'm sure you didn't expect to see me back so soon. My last video was just probably about a week ago. And so here I am. It is Sunday, July 16th. I start my new job tomorrow, and instead of getting myself, mentally prepared to go back into the workforce after like a month and a half off, almost 2 months, I'm thinking about cross stitch, as you do. And so I was thinking about how in my last video I had said that there were a number of projects that I wanted to restart, and they were just kind of like waiting in the wings, but all these new shiny things, like new patterns and new fabric, were kind of getting maybe not in the way, but that's essentially what's been happening. I'm always looking to start new things despite having patterns that I love that just aren't working for me in one way or another, sort of waiting to be touched again. So in this video, I am introducing to you and I invite you to join in on a restart-a-thon. So I will have about 2 weeks of my new job before August 1st. And so I am going to use those 2 weeks to just get situated. And then in August, I am going to restart one of those projects that have been waiting sort of untouched since my last whip parade in October. I'm going to start one a week. And so there's 5 weeks in August. Unfortunately, maybe just like unsatisfactorily, August starts on a Tuesday. So I'm going to be restarting a project every Tuesday. So there are, again, 5 Tuesdays in August. But if there's just one project that you want to restart, this is where I'm inviting you to join me. I would love to know, I would love to see. I didn't really think of a hashtag. I guess maybe like restartathon 2023. I will put it here in terms of spelling if you'd like to join. But I thought I would share with you the projects that I'm going to restart. Maybe share a little bit about why they weren't working for me, and yeah, give you like a sneak peek at my plans for August. I am going to be working full time. So why, who knows what my stitching will look like, but these projects are going to be touched. So like I said, I have 5, um, and they're all at, for various reasons. So I'm just going to get started. Okay, so the first project I'm going to restart is a Stitch with Coffee Designs pattern. It is their strawberry bell pull. So it looks like this. This is, I think, the only one that I have a pattern for. Everything else will be photos. But this is just so beautiful and it screams summer to me. And I started it, and the issue that I have is that I started it on 25 count over 1. So it's on a 25 count light taupe linen, and I think the issue is just how small it is. So that is the progress that I have. I truly love how dainty this is and how beautiful and sweet it looks, and imagine the whole thing. But it drives me nuts to stitch on. I also love these threads on this color. And I think my hope was that, I have this big piece. My hope was if I just did it here and it was small, I would have all this fabric left. So I think what I'm going to do instead is turn the fabric this way and stitch over 2 so it's a bit more substantial. So that is going to be my first restart. Very excited. I love this pattern so much. And I'm honestly, every time I think about what I want to stitch, I think of this. And then I think of stitching over 1, which like it isn't too terrible. I think maybe when I started it, I was just still like newish to stitching, so it was difficult. I don't know that it would be that difficult now because I've stitched over 2 on 28 count a little bit. I've been practicing, and I stitch on 20 count kind of often. And looking at it now, I just don't think it would be as difficult as I thought. But I want it to be bigger. I want it to be more beautiful. And so, I mean, it can't be more beautiful, but more substantial. So I'm going to restart it in a different orient on the fabric and restart this. So my next restart is it's going to be 2 different projects on the same fabric. So our beloved Marjorie made here on YouTube and on Instagram started in February, Lovebugssal, which is Sal for the Lovebug sampler from Stitching Lupine. I started mine, and I haven't shown it on my channel because I made a very silly mistake. So I started it on this beautiful green printed Aida, I think it's 20 count. But I started in the top right corner of the design. So I'll post a picture of what it looks like here. I started with that hexagon medallion, but I started in the wrong part. So I'll show you what my fabric looks like now based on where I was stitching it. So I started it in the bottom left of my fabric and not in the top right like I was supposed to. And now this is not big enough to fit Lovebugssal. And so I was stitching away, super happy, loving my progress, and then I had to move my Q snap. And that's when I realized I was not stitching it the right way. I think maybe what happened was I had moved my Q snap. Maybe I had switched it around while I was stitching, and so it right side up became the wrong side of the fabric. And that's kind of an embarrassing thing to admit, but it's what happened, and it's why I haven't been stitching on it. And that was in February, and now we'll be in August, and I would love to restart the project. So I have this very big piece of 18 count dusty green Aida. So, I mean, this is a little bit lighter, sure, but they're, it's just like a couple of shades off. So, I'm going to stitch it on this. I don't think it'll be too much trouble. These are the threads. And I just really want to get back to stitching this pattern because I love it so much. And I want to do the warning signs. I think I said that previously. There's warning signs, which is yellow. And I think honestly that might look really good on this fabric too. And then, this is a very gigantic piece of fabric that I have. I don't know if the measurement is on here, but truly it is it's big. It's double this, so I can definitely stitch multiple projects on this. I don't know how this happened. I think sometimes when I order, I put like a quantity of 2 because I want not necessarily to be bigger, but I want 2 very usable pieces of fabric, and my local needlework store just cuts it gigantic. I'm not complaining. I mean, this is fine. I can cut it myself, but yes, I'm going to be restarting Lovebugssal. The next pattern that I'm going to restart, I'm also going to restart on that fabric. And the pattern is Rabbit in Sweater, and it's by MikaStitch Design on Instagram. So it's going to look like this. I actually started stitching it on the same fabric as this, on the other half. My issue with this one, honestly, is that I started stitching it using a paper pattern, and for whatever reason, I was not marking off where I went, what I did. And so when I was looking at it, and it's just different shades of gray in the bunny's head, and so when I was looking at it, I couldn't really figure out where I was, and so I got very lost and I never wanted to pick it up. And so that's why I'm restarting it with a copy of the paper pattern. I mean, I got the PDF, so I printed it out. And I'm going to stitch it also on this dusty green Aida. That one is going to test me. That one is going to test me in terms of backstitch because it's very backstitch heavy. But I'm ready. I'm ready to try it. If it looks bad, it looks bad. That's okay. The next pattern that I'm going to restart is Rainbow Garden, and this is by Buena Pieza on Etsy. It's going to look like this. I started this on like a 16 count black Aida, which I've since put away for other projects. I've cut out my stitching so I can't show you. And my issue is that I didn't really like the way my stitches were laying. It just felt like very obvious X's, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like by then I had moved on to a different count fabric. I was very comfortable in 18 count, 20 count, all of that stuff. And so I have this 25 count black Zweigart Lugana. Mind all the cat hair that's on it. But since I'm going to be stitching the other one 2/2, I think I'm going to do the same thing with this. And hopefully it's a little less Xy. You know, I love when people stitch on like 14 count, but my stitches don't lay nicely on 14 count. So like I don't like my own needlework on a count that low. I don't even really like my stitches on 16 count anymore. I think 18, 20 is the best for me. And so I'm gonna do over 2 on the 25 count and see how that looks. If I have to restart this thing a third time on like 20 count black Aida, I will. But yes, I am very excited to restart this one. I want it so bad. I still love the ghosts. I still love the kitties. I love all of the flowers. It's quite a large piece, but I am really excited to get started. Okay, so my last restart is also a pattern that I have. It's Home Sweet Home by Modern Folk Embroidery. So it's going to look like this. This is beautiful. I love it in the red. I started this on an 18 count Night Owl Aida from Roxy Floss Co. And this is stitched with Roxy Floss Co.'s Butter Chicken. I really, really love this. I love the combo. I love everything about it. But for whatever reason, I'm not loving stitching. I don't know if it's the fabric. I don't know if it's a pattern. I don't know if it's the floss. But I did all of this in a couple of days and I didn't pick it up again. And so I'm going to try changing the fabric. I love this fabric so much. It's so mottled and beautiful, and I have a billion other things that I think I would love to stitch on it. Maybe something spooky, Halloweeny, maybe something from Mama Witch X Stitch, because I don't think the fabric is the issue. I think maybe it's everything altogether. That's the issue. So I'm going to start by changing the fabric. Now, when you have a bright orange like this, right, it's not really, I've been thinking about it for a long time, and finding the right fabric has just kind of eluded me truly. And I think it's because I know that I should just stitch it on a white and let that color shine. Just let this color shine. So this is, I think, an 18 count. I lost a sticker. It's 18 count, just bright white Aida. I've been trying really hard to find the same fabric that I stitched Le Jour on. So I have been buying just different types of white Aida. So I'm going to use this on this. So those are the 5 projects that I'm going to restart during my restart-a-thon in August. I would love to know if you have any projects you have been waiting to restart, and if you're going to with me. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. You will see in whatever video in August or in September that I film, you will see those projects once they have been restarted. I'm just so grateful for you for taking the time to watch my video today. I hope you have a wonderful day, evening, week, wherever you are in the world. And yeah, we'll use the hashtag restartathon2023 on Instagram and everywhere else on the internet. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!